Jim Zumwalt addressed city workers this afternoon about his decision to resign effective immediately. Afterwards, he told me that the city commission had met regarding his future throughout the morning. They then asked to talk with him this afternoon, and he then prepared his letter of resignation and turned it in. He said he hasn't made a decision as to whether he will seek another city manager's job in the future or whether he will stay in Paducah. He said he is 67 years old and may decide to retire. Asked whether there are any hard feelings, he paused for a moment and said that's not part of the business. I'm Donna Groves reporting.
The special prosecutor who worked out the plea agreement that allowed former Commonwealth's attorney Mike Ward to serve just 60 days of a one-year sentence on his third DUI conviction is defending that agreement as appropriate. Christian County Attorney Mike Foster.
In dealing with Mr. Ward's case, as we do with any DUI case, we really look at a combination of factors in terms of dealing with the issue. One, some of it, quite frankly, is punitive nature. That's why we ask for 12-month jail sentence to serve 120 days of that time, with the rest of it suspended and probated. We suspend the time in hopes that the threat of future jail time will prevent further occurrences.
Foster says it's a very serious situation, not only for the general public, for Mr. Ward's personal life as well, so they hope the combination of factors in the sentence will give him sufficient motivation to deal with the problem that he has. Longtime Bristol Broadcasting General Manager Gary Morse has passed away at the age of 65. After beating cancer 3 times, Morse lost his 4th battle with the disease earlier this morning. He died peacefully at home, surrounded by his family. We wanted to take a look back at Gary's career.
Mardi Gras may be bigger in New Orleans, but it's more delicious in Paducah at the Mid-South's best seafood restaurant, the Whaler's Catch on North 13th.
It's hard to believe this distinctive, resounding voice we've all grown to love once sounded like...
Hello, testing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, an eager 14-year-old trying to break into the world of radio.
You're on tempo over W K I N.
Gary's radio career took him to Chicago.
War has broken out again in the Mideast earlier this afternoon when news learned that
Houston.
A heap big robbery of a wealthy Dallasite this morning. Bill Aworth says it happened at the home of a contractor on the north side.
And, of course, he even did the news for a long time here in Paducah.
And the swinger ride at Noble Park tipped over last night, injuring 2 women.
Until his general manager duties limited his time on the air. He also did a stint as a TV reporter in Houston as well.
And that's the Big 2 News Morning Scene. I'm Gary Morse. Good morning.
Gary Morse, our general manager, dead at 65. Well, it's back to the drawing board for the city of Paducah in its search for a new city manager. This after the Mercer Group withdrew its recommendation that Ben South be offered the job after an employment item on South's resume could not be verified. Mayor Bill Paxton says at least the matter was discovered before he was hired.
Could we found it sooner, maybe, but we found it, and so what we're going to do now is Mercer has been given the challenge by the commission to open the search, and he's going to start working hard on that, and hopefully very soon we could have about 5 candidates in here, and we'll go through the process again, and hopefully out of those 5 candidates we'll find somebody that's going to be good for Paducah.
There's no timetable for when the mayor and commission will interview the next set of candidates. McCracken County Judge Executive Van Newberry says he's trying to keep an open mind, but for now, he's just not convinced a merged Paducah City McCracken County government is a good idea. Newberry, who heads a 21-member committee studying the possibility, says there have only been 35 mergers of city-county governments in the past 100 years.
At 35 out of over 3,000 counties, so it's hardly a trend by any means. And I don't believe there's been any mergers of county city governments where the county voters outnumbered the city voters. And here in McCracken County, the county registered voters are 70%, and only 30% live inside the city. So it's 2.5 to 1 county voters. So it's a big uphill battle for the pro-merger people.
But Paducah Mayor Bill Paxton said city-county governments that have merged are glad they did.
When I've talked to Nashville and to Indianapolis and to Lexington and to Louisville and those cities that have merged government, they've all said it was the best thing that ever happened to them, and that their community took off as far as growth goes, as far as prosperity, as far as bringing in economic development, and so it's a situation where when you talk to the people who have done it, they're very pleased with it.
The committee could opt to recommend merger of certain departments rather than city and county government as a whole. Well, Lisa Lauk is determined to get her missing dog Bella back, and she's doing everything she can to make that happen. In the hopes that someone may have found her and taken her home, Lauk has put together a hefty reward package.
$1,150 plus that's cash, plus some restaurant gift certificates. And this wonderful woman that I don't even know has donated a one-night stay in a suite at the Riverview Inn in Clarksville. Actually, somebody had told me about a friend that had lost their dog, and they did everything they could and finally put up a $5,000 reward, and the dog happened to show up. And I thought, I don't have that kind of money. I couldn't raise that kind of money. So I thought, I'm going to use my resources and see if I can put a reward package together that would be enticing enough for somebody, if they have caught her or found her, would turn her over. I don't know, it's just kind of exploded into what it is now.
Actually, as of this morning, the cash reward is up to $1,200. Bella, a 5.5-year-old Brussels Griffon, got out of the yard at a friend's house on Eva Drive near Olivet Church Road Saturday, May 22nd. Lauk is also keeping those who are helping to look for the little dog updated via a Facebook page she's created entitled Missing Bella. You can see a picture of Bella on our website, westkentuckystar.com. You'll also find a phone number for Lauk there, too. The bitterly cold temperatures are leading many folks to discover frozen pipes, but Paducah Fire Marshal Greg Cherry warns those trying to thaw out frozen pipes not to make bad matters worse.
If you do have your water pipes freeze up and you're attempting to thaw them out yourself, you don't want to set some type of heat device that's under your house and go off and leave it. You know, you want to make sure that you use extreme caution when doing that. Don't stick any type of heater in there that's going to ignite the floor or anything else under your house. That's one of the big problems you do see people trying to thaw their water pipes out, setting something on fire inside the house.
Cherry says you need to make sure space heaters aren't at risk of tipping over and aren't close to flammable objects like curtains. He says it's also important to take precautions with wood-burning stoves.
Well, one of the things you have with wood-burning fireplaces is making sure that the flues are kept clean. You don't want to have your flue catch on fire, because if it gets too hot, then it breaks the liner inside of it. Then fire could spread into the adjoining attic or wall or wherever.
And Cherry says, as always, it's important to make sure your home has working smoke detectors. Rex Smith, the challenger wanting to unseat 2nd District State Senator Bob Leeper, was asked during the Chamber of Commerce Forum whether his paving company might be a conflict of interest if he were to land the role of state senator.
Every contract I get with the state is done through a competitive bidding process. There are 642 pre-qualified road builders to bid, who can bid on any project they're qualified to bid on in Kentucky. Those bids have to be submitted to Transportation Cabinet and approved by an awards committee. And nothing will change if I'm a state senator. Nothing will help me get contracts. I'll still have to submit competitive bids. I just submitted a competitive bid over here on this Ledbetter Bridge and got beat $300,000 on a $66 million job. So there's competition out there that I have to compete with, and that's how I get my jobs, by being a fierce competitor, not by being a state senator. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Leeper, 1 minute.
We don't bid chiropractic services.
A third candidate, Republican Mike East, didn't show up.